Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and Blizzard has posted on the main World of Warcraft website Legion PvP preview. The preview covers the new honor system, how that will function, how gear will function in PvP, equipping yourselves for battle, the seasons that will be coming out for PvP, as well as the prestige, and some change with scenery by addition of 2 arenas, which I will cover here. What I'm doing in today's video is I'm covering everything in a brief manner just to give you guys an explanation of what is happening and what is to be expected out of Legion preview. While a lot of you can go read this on the website, which I'll have a link for below, in this video I'll be covering basically what Blizzard is trying to say and what point they're trying to get across when they posted this post. So hopefully you guys enjoy this quick version, the quick synopsis, this quick cover of everything Blizzard is introducing in Legion, and let's get on to the video. So first thing they're doing is changing the honor system. For the longest time we have had the honor system we currently have, where we earn conquest points and honor points and then spend those points for gear. Gearing is changing, and so is the honor. The honor is going to be a lot like an XP bar. It's going to have a maximum rank of 50, which you can prestige, where you'll reset it to down below, get extra rewards for resetting it, and then get to climb it back up to 50 from the start all over again for even more and better rewards after you prestige it next time. So the honor system will go in a manner of it'll gain you gold, artifact power, and brand new PvP only honor talents, which will be applied within PvP situations, be it world PvP, arenas, and battlegrounds. Currently, gear makes too much of a difference for players in PvP. Someone who is in full greens just starting out the game is not going to have the best time within PvP situations against somebody who is in full Season 3 gear. The Season 3 gear arena player is going to dominate anybody who has less gear than him. Currently, the game says that if you have about 25 item level difference between 2 players, the player with the most gear has 25% more of an advantage in terms of stats, in terms of damage taken, and other methods. What Blizzard wants to do is get rid of that difference as much as possible. The gear is going to make a difference, but 25 item level difference between you and another person is going to only result in 2.5% difference between players in terms of stats. Gear is going to impact a player to a certain extent, but it's going to impact him differently, because PvP is going to give you preset stats. Once you zone into a PvP situation, be it arenas, battlegrounds, or get encountered in world PvP, your stats are going to be nullified and giving you base stats for your class and spec. A lot like what is happening in Warlords of Draenor. Once you get into a PvP combat, your gear automatically scales up in item level as long as you are in PvP. On top of that, they are taking out the whole idea of PvP gear compared to non-PvP gear. Gear is going to be gear, whether you earn it through dailies, through dungeons, through raids, through PvP methods, through farming rare mobs in the world. When you earn gear, that gear can be used anywhere in PvP and PvE. That means if a player has a full raid set, they don't have a raid set anymore, they simply have gear that they got from a raid. They can take that same exact gear from a raid into PvP combat, and they'll do just as fine as they would as if they were fully geared for PvP. Because gear is going to be gear, and gear is going to make far less difference in terms of PvP. On top of this, with gear being taken out, they're going to be able to adjust players' stats a little bit differently. Let's say if Disc Priests are just getting hit way too hard, they'll just simply increase the spell power of all Disc Priests to make sure that their healing is more balanced and can keep sustaining friendlies around them. If a class is hitting too hard with a mastery, let's say Arms Warrior Mastery is going rampant and Mortal Strike is literally hitting you for 75% of your health, then they'll simply tone down the mastery for Arms Warriors altogether. By giving players base stats for the class and spec, they can simply regulate which specs and classes are hitting too hard or too little, and therefore they want to find a fine-tuned balance for all classes in the game. Currently in Season 3 Warlords of Draenor, you want to go Human Rogue. They deal the most damage compared to the other race counterparts, and I think that simply isn't fair. And Blizzard recognizes this as well. If you want to play on a Horde side or Alliance, you should be able to play on a Horde side or Alliance, but some players will opt out to go in the other faction to make sure they can secure the Gladiator title. This way, Blizzard is trying to counteract by handing out end-of-season PvP rewards separately from faction to faction. Now, percentages for faction players and faction PvP and rating is going to be viewed by factions. So, if let's say you're the 51th rogue in US, but you're on a Horde side and there's 50 other rogues above you on Alliance side, you'll still be able to secure your Glad title because you're still #1 rated rogue on your faction. So this way, even if you do choose to play your faction, even though everybody else is re-rolling Alliance for humans if they do deal more damage or they have some sort of advantage, you can still stay your undead rogue and still get your rewards as long as you enjoy your faction, as long as you play on your faction. Because the game is going to be percentage out again by factions, which I think is kind of a cool concept. It's going to, I think, give a few more gladiator titles in the game, and it's also going to make it a bit more competitive because not all of player base is being used in order to get the percentages out, but only a few selected bases, as in faction, of Horde, or Alliance. And this also works out if a lot of players swap over to the Horde, if Legion ratios are just that much better on the Horde side. So this way, no matter what faction you play, you should be able to enjoy your arena experience if you're trying to push for higher rating and all the higher rated rewards. We talked earlier about the prestige system when we talked about the honor system. Once you get to level 50 of honor, you can prestige and put yourself back at level 1, but in exchange for rewards. Some of those rewards are a badge used for prestige level, which appears on your scoreboard in battlegrounds and arenas, and your nameplate in unit frame, basically telling everybody else how many times you prestiged. Maybe even a title, also based on your prestige level. A wearable faction pennant, such as maybe a flag sticking out of your back, a lot like in arenas, but instead of the yellow or the green flag, you would fly the Alliance banner or the Horde banner. A new appearance for your artifact. Yes, your artifact weapons can get certain appearances simply just from PvP. So PvPers will still have some sort of an advantage over PvE players. If that's all you do is PvP, you can still get better and cooler and more unique looking artifact weapons. Maybe even unique mount or a pet. So rewards are going to be in the game for such as mounts, where artifacts, faction pennants, all the cosmetics, if you do choose to prestige yourself within honor level, but you do not have to. Once you reach level 50 within your honor, you can stay there, and you don't need, if you don't want any of the prestige levels, you can just simply ignore them and continue playing at level 50. This gives players an incentive to try again, keep coming back to their character, keep playing the game, keep doing battlegrounds, keep queuing for PvP, knowing that there's a better reward in the future. And this might allow players to keep playing with their friends and get their friends in on board with it. And if you're just casual player who doesn't have that much time to play, you also get an advantage because you can still keep the level 50 talents available to yourself if you really don't have the time or simply don't care about all the niceties and all the bonuses you can get from prestiging. Another exciting thing we are getting in Legion that we didn't get in Warlords of Draenor, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you will be happy about. We're getting new arenas, and I don't know why this is the most exciting thing for me. It's just I remember when they didn't bring new arenas or battlegrounds for WoD, and a lot of people were just unhappy. I mean, we like the arenas and battlegrounds from MOP. They were still cool and something new to add to the game. But the fact that Draenor, the only thing that it brought is Ashran, and the way that Ashran has unfolded is a little bit disappointing. But they first located the Fortress of Blackrook Hold. This arena features a large stage in the center as well as 3 alcoves to the sides. Access to these alcoves is restricted by a series of gates which will open and close randomly as each match continues. When the gates are closed, you can use them to hide in line of sight of your opponents. Just be prepared for them to open again in moments later. This is a shifting arena, something that moves in terms of environment, so some people might be unhappy because there's going to be a lot more access to line of sight, but overall it's a very fun and interactive arena, and I think it'll be very interesting. Also in development, they have another arena called Forest of Val-Shara. When you first enter that arena, you'll be encased in a dome of vines. When the match starts, those vines will retreat, leaving the starting area exposed for the rest of the arena. In the center, you'll find statues which can be used to break line of sight. However, the statues are located very close to each other, so you'll need to keep moving if you want to play defensively. Another arena in order to change up the playstyle, there's going to be LOS and a lacking of LOS arena, which again will give a competitive edge to anybody who's playing spellcaster cleaves, CC based comps, long end games for dampening, or even melee cleaves that are all about chasing the healer and killing them as fast as possible. This will give more of a facet for PvP, plus with all the changes to PvP, this will give us a lot more playground to play with and a lot more aesthetics to look at within arenas. This is really cool arena changes and additions, as well as the rest of the PvP Legion preview. I'm sorry if I sounded too excited about the arenas, just I've been waiting for arenas for some while. But the rest of Legion preview I think sounds awesome, sounds great. I like the faction balancing that they committed to. I like the gear that they're basically taking out of the game as much as possible. And I'm very overall happy and have positive outlook on Legion PvP preview. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what you think is going to be, what you like or what you don't like about the PvP Legion preview. What are your overall thoughts about it? Do you think it's going to work out, or do you think it's going to flop? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, my name is Dalaran, and I'll see you guys in the next video.